welcome to Cardboard Champs. This is a car ride adventure. Me and Alex, we basically would sit and talk for hours about nonsense, about card games and things, and we kind of thought maybe people would want to listen to us. So
Yeah, it sounds like it'd be a lot of fun. This is Alex over here. You can actually know what my voice sounds like.
yeah,
Yeah.
so we Christmas rolled around. I was like, hey guys, you should get me podcast equipment, and they're like, that's expensive. And then everybody bought me podcast equipment, and I was like, "Hey, gang, let's go!" All right, we're side note, we are actually not in a gang. Thank you. All right,
Speak for yourself.
uh-oh. So
just kidding. Let's get
no,
no gang.
all right. So no gang stuff.
If you are in a gang, that's cool too.
That's cool. Like we're not hating. Just just do cool stuff.
Yeah, just
all right.
don't kill us.
Don't kill us. All right. So that's
what
kind
are our
of
topics.
what our topics for today. So. This being January, we kind of wanted to do a recap of 2020. I know it hasn't been a great year for a lot of things. But, for video games and card games and things, we did have a lot of cool stuff that came out. And we were just going to kind of touch on that as kind of our first show, and just kind of give you guys our thoughts. And maybe you might find something here that, you haven't tried yet, or,
Yeah, definitely. So the general outline is going to be, we're going to talk video games first, then some D&D. We're also going to cover some D&D questions, some D&D things, and then we're going to end it with what our name is based on, the cardboard stuff. So
yeah.
TCGs, CCGs, all the Gs.
All the Gs.
All the Gs.
We're hoping to make a lot of Gs. So you guys listen to this, share it with your friends, tell us we're awesome or not awesome if you don't think so. We love opinions, we love feedback. This is clearly our opinions. Take it for how you like it or whatever. But it's just kind of our 2 cents.
Yeah, then you guys let us know what your opinions were of our opinions.
Yeah. And
that's how we start wars.
That's how the console war started. I think it's over now at this point, right? Like, did PC just win? Because all consoles are just kind of PCs now.
I mean, depends on how you think about it. I mean, compared to Cyberpunk, yeah, PC won.
PC for sure won.
PC for sure.
I think the only one. I think the real winner is PC and Nintendo, because Nintendo does not make a. They're not trying to be a PC. They're just trying to do Nintendo.
They're trying to do their own thing.
And
Talk about.
cool.
I don't think I hit any Nintendo games on my top 5. My bad, Nintendo. You guys make great games.
I did have one, which we'll get to shortly. It was only, man. We'll talk about it when we get to it. So. That being said, our first little bit here is our top 5 games of 2020, and we're gonna be starting this list again. It's just solely off games we actually have played. We're not gonna throw anything on here that that we haven't personally spent hours in ourselves. We're not that kind of review show. We're only gonna tell you what we've done and accomplished. So,
and we have accomplished a lot.
So that being said. Our number, and we haven't talked about these beforehand either, so this is completely pretty fresh.
We're probably going to disagree on some of these, maybe, who knows. Yep. But we're going to go backwards, so we're going to start with number 5, and then we're going to go down to our number 1.
Yep. So for me, my number 5 game of the year was actually Baldur's Gate 3. I really enjoyed it. I was super hyped. It's been delayed, and I know it's not quite complete even as we speak. I guess it's
still early access.
Still early access, yeah. But really enjoyed it. They've done a lot of work on it. They've made it a lot better even from the early release. But I had a lot of fun with it.
No, yeah, I think within our friend group, it was really, we were all hyped. I think we skipped D&D that one week so we could all play
yeah.
We didn't play with each other. We played with,
we all played separately and then talked about it instead of making a party. So
yeah, it's not on my list, mainly because it's not a full game yet. But I think it's really good. It's just a lot of glitches, a lot of, man, it just needs some work.
It does.
But I got tired of seeing shit just float everywhere, like during my cutscenes. I was just like, man, what's going on?
Or like some of the we're like, that's not what the rule book says.
Yeah.
When we try to compare it to
they do a lot of they fixed that in the latest patch. Yep. I know before you used to cantrip, you could get fire grounds and ice grounds, and we were like, bro, that's kind of broken.
Yeah,
but no, they did change that, and I think it's Larian Studios. I love Divinity Original Sin 2. Played a lot of that, especially during work. Played a lot of
It's
it.
during work.
Yeah. When I was working at home, yeah, played a lot of it then.
Yep.
So I'm only seeing great things from that. Now for my number 5, I actually have a newer game that just came out. I have Cyberpunk 2077.
Number 5.
My
says.
number 5. Now hear me out. Hear me out here. Here's the thing. The game is really, really fun. I play on my PC. My PC can handle it. I do see some FPS drops depending on where I am in the game, but it's fun and it's very GTA-ish. And I'm usually not a fan of that type of game, but I don't know, something about it. It hits me. I like being the little ninja with the mantis blade, just cutting people up. Like it's a lot of fun. But it's not the game I think any of us were expecting. We were expecting more. The AI for driving sucks. The police sucks.
They just blink and show up, and they're like, "Hey, we're here."
Yeah.
They don't even ride up. They're just like literally behind you.
You can drive one block and they're gone.
Yep.
They're like, "Oh, okay, he got away."
He got away. Yeah. Thank you to the Cyberpunk police for allowing me to get back and get Sataro's sword. Though, thank you for that. Using the glitch to get into the back into the
I don't
hotel.
even know what he's talking about. So there's that. You can make infinite money very easily. So there's that.
It's a very cyberpunk thing. I think.
Very cyberpunk. Yeah. I like how anytime you lose money, it comes up to your heads-up display, but then your heads-up display is your eyes.
Yeah.
I don't know. That kind of just like the amount of effort to put into making it like look realistic is really cool to me. I haven't beaten the game though, but I spent over 70 hours in it, so I think that says a lot.
Yeah.
Also, I might have restarted the character, but we keep that on the down low.
So moving forward, back to my number 4. Next is actually Animal Crossing: New Horizons. Game came out right before the quarantine this year, or right at the start of it. And I think myself, along with many other people that had were at home, spent a lot of hours on that game. I actually looked back at my time played on the Switch, and I had I think 140 hours this year, or in 2020.
On the just Animal Crossing?
On the game, on the Switch itself.
Gotcha.
That my account was logged in, and out of 140 hours, literally 137 were on Animal Crossing. No other games played hardly at all. That was it.
Here's the thing. I've never played Animal Crossing. I actually thought about buying it because people were hyped. And I'm talking about hyped, they were hyped. But then a buddy of mine from work bought it, and he mentioned something about it was like time gated, like almost like a mobile video game.
There are a lot of that things that happen based off the month or season. And things
yeah, but it takes real life time
to reach it.
Yeah. See, the thing, when I want to play a video game, I want to play a video game. So that kind of turned me off on it. But do you play as an animal?
No, you're a villager. Your friends are animals. Though.
Can I be an animal?
I don't think
I want to be a lion.
I don't think you can. Yeah.
Why can't I be a lion?
Man, I don't know. Take it.
If you could be an animal, what would you be?
If I could be an animal.
Yeah, but like in the Animal Crossing, style.
Man, the eagles are kind of cool, but most of them are kind of jerks. You know what? The cool characters are always the cats.
Yeah,
it's always the cats.
I've never played, I swear.
It's like I remember when the black market for Animal Crossing characters was out, and you could, Nintendo, I love your games, I swear. I'm not promoting any negative stuff, but people would manipulate the game to get certain villagers, and they would sell them for what would be real life money's equivalent of tickets. And so I think Bob, or no, not Bob. What's the cat who wears the suit? Cat, you guys are gonna kill me in the comments, but he was
be out here hustling.
He was
money.
literally like $100 real life. He was like $100 real life dollars or something like that at one point. It's crazy. And all villagers are nice, and I like all of them, except for that pink gorilla lady. I didn't like her. She was on my island. She can, whatever. All right, so yeah, Animal Crossing: New Horizons. My number 4, pretty good time waster.
All right. So my number 4, something you guys gonna know. I love card games. So my number 4 is a card game. It's called Monster Train.
Monster Train. Okay.
Monster Train. So it's an indie game. The whole gist of it is, if you ever play Slay the Spire, very similar to it. You're in a train in hell.
Okay.
But you play the minions of hell. and hell has frozen over. So your goal, basically, like angels have taken over hell, and then your goal as the hell minions is to unfreeze it. So you have 7 rounds essentially to create a deck. You start out with 20 cards. I think it's 20 or 10, something like that. And then each time you play, you get more cards and you make a deck out of it essentially. And you just do it over and over and over again. You upgrade it. You get artifacts and give you like special abilities. So it's I enjoy those type of games. It's a roguelike deck building game. It's fun. Shout out to Stygian. I have them all in gold because it's the only faction I played, and then they nerfed them. So now I don't play. So come at me when they fix them.
When they fix them.
Yeah, when they make them busted again.
That's cool. Man, indie games sometimes don't get the credit they deserve. Even if they're only like, a couple hour long games.
Yep.
But you just have a lot of fun playing them,
Yeah, I think this year has been mostly for indie games for me. I've played a lot of them, and then tried to make my own game, and I realized how much time and effort is put into it. And I realized, indie games are kind of cool, especially when you don't want to spend 70 hours. Maybe you just want to spend 20 hours in a game, or maybe 10 hours. And those are nice.
Or you don't want to have to spend 60 or 70 on a new game. These
like
a lot of these
$20,
games are 10, 15, $20,
and they're good.
Yeah. They're actually, some of them are even worth more than what they're charging for them, in our opinions, and those gems that you run across. So.
Now, as much as I love Monster Train, I am excited for my number 3.
Number 3,
because number 3, I spent a lot of time on
it. So moving forward, my number 3, this is Adam, is going to be.
Adam, I'm pretty sure they can tell the difference.
Yeah,
between our
I don't know
voices.
why I said that. Sorry, this is our first one. We're working this out, and but number 3 is the Final Fantasy VII remake.
Oh, buddy,
Let's go.
That's my number 3 too.
Is it really?
Yes.
So we can talk about this one together. Wow. All right. So back, man, when the first one came out, when Final Fantasy VII first came, that was my favorite Final Fantasy game.
He's so excited he can't speak.
It's literally that and Tactics are my 2 favorites.
Oh, I love Tactics.
Oh yeah,
Tactics is a great game.
So when they announced they were doing the remake, I'm like, I am absolutely here for it. The demo came out, and it was exactly scene by scene the demo that I remember playing back on the demo disc for the PlayStation, and it was the game is fantastic. It's great. It was everything I hoped it could be, and more for what I wanted a remake to be.
All right, so I'm gonna actually bring a fresh eyes perspective because I've never played the original.
Okay, yeah.
So I have tried to play the original a bunch of times, but I just couldn't get into it. It's just the old chibi style. It just looks funky to me. And then between that and I've never been a big fan of ATB.
Like the battle style stuff.
Yeah, battle style. Just because it's weird having to wait and then not wait at the same time. I'm not quick. I take my time. Like when I play video games, I'm on my phone. I'm like doing 5 things at one time, so I don't really pay a lot of attention. But Final 7 remake was pretty freaking good. I was playing it. I was lost through the majority of it. I played it twice. I got the platinum for it, and it was really cool. I don't know if you guys watch Maximilian Dude. I actually don't even watch Maximilian Dude like that.
I used to watch him for fighting games.
Yeah, he's basically for fighting games. Yeah, I don't even watch him like that, but he did a like the 8 levels of layers of what it could all mean, and just listening to that, basically like maybe even more excited for the next one.
Yeah.
I played the first time in, I guess, the normal, because you can't play it on hard. And I thought it was really easy. Then you play it on hard and you realize, holy crap, I've been playing the game wrong.
Yeah.
Because then you really start understanding how to play the game.
Yeah.
And then once you really get the rhythm, it's fun, it's fast. You switch back and forth, back and forth, and Tifa's the main girl.
Yeah.
All the way Tifa.
Definitely.
I'm just saying. I went back through those 3 scenes with Tifa and I said, each one of these, which one? I like the one where like she seemed to like almost like the Japanese get up.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
number 1 girl.
That's funny. Like I said, we number 3 both the same. Final Fantasy VII, great job, Square Enix and everybody over there that worked on that. So going forward, my number 2, Ghost of Tsushima. Fantastic game. Holy cow. I was worried a little bit because of how much hype it had, with people that I know that were like, "This game's gonna be great. This game's gonna be great. This game's gonna be great," and couldn't find a copy really at release. I don't know if it was they just didn't make enough around our area. Managed to get a copy, played it, like holy cow. Like, in a world where we want to play so many multiplayer games, we want to play with our friends.
In a world.
In a world where everyone plays together.
And not by themselves anymore.
It's refreshing actually that, so looking back on it, a lot of these titles, and actually my last one too, are all single player games for the most part.
I think it shows you, despite what all the EAs and
Activisions want to push,
that single player games are still where it's at, especially for us that, when we grew up, to play multiplayer, you had to go to a buddy's house, and you couldn't do that all the time.
Yeah.
And then you had to bring your controller.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing sucked more when you left that controller behind.
Yeah. Or that you had to use their like off-brand Mad Cats busted.
Or
no offense, Mad Cats.
But it was busted.
But it was busted.
Always busted.
It had like Cheetos
or
dust
the
in
or
it.
the sticks were like
sticks
some
were
bruises were
broke.
bitten.
Yeah,
when
they
they were bitten, you had to roll it, and you would get
Yeah.
burned on your palm.
Yeah, you're doing the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think just going back to single player adventure games, and again, with Ghost of Tsushima, how you could, depending on how you played the game, altered the environment, altered the way that kind of just everything went together. Choosing the honorable way, or what some would say the dishonorable way of handling missions, or way to dispatch enemies and things. That was really neat, and just a beautiful game. Holy cow, the game was so pretty. Like, just the environments and things.
Did you play it in black and white?
I did not play in black and white. Do I need to go back and play it in black and white?
I actually didn't play the game at all, but I did hear that it looks fantastic in black and white as well. That's probably one of those games I would play in black and white.
I can believe it. So,
obviously, I didn't play it.
Yeah.
It wasn't on my radar at all, and then people were just raving about it. But I don't know. I just didn't. It didn't. It wasn't those games that caught my attention. But I think because my number 2 game kind of covered the Japanese style game.
Okay.
My number 2 is actually Neo 2.
Oh, I see. I didn't play that one.
See. Now Neo 2 is basically it's not basically the same as Ghost of Tsushima. It is set in Japan. Very mystical Japan, because you can fight yokai and stuff like that. But it is a Dark Souls style game where you can actually grind for loot.
Okay.
And man, I spent a lot of time. It happened when close to the quarantine. I had during the quarantine, I had 2 weeks that I had to quarantine for myself because a coworker had it. Had that crush card. So we had to, quarantine for 14 days, and I was bored. So during those 14 days, there was 2 games I played: Neo 2 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I would rotate between them, and man, I spent hours on Neo 2. A lot of hours. I made my dude super awesome using the spears. I would. This is a co-op game, so you could have people online and you could grind together. So I spent a lot of time killing other people, and that's always fun. And I'm bad at multiplayer games, so when I get to be good at them, I take that chance, especially for action games.
Yeah. I've seen it. I've heard things about the first one. It's just one that I haven't picked up yet, but again, just like some of these for you guys, maybe this is the opportunity to try to pick one of these up and say, okay, let's see if the hype's really worth it.
Yeah. And I also want you guys to notice how different our gaming experiences have been this year. I'm pretty sure I know what your number 1 is.
Oh, but you know what my number 1 is.
Go for it.
All right, so number 1 for me, and I'm sorry if you played this on console, I really apologize, but it is Cyberpunk. And I really thought long and hard about it. I was like, did I get caught up in the hype? Is that what happened here? Am I putting it? I just had it on such a high pedestal that I refused to take it down. After about 100 hours worth of gameplay, I felt like it definitely deserves to be where it is. Now, that being said, is the game perfect? No. Are there things they can fix about it? Absolutely. But the experience that I had playing it, between the side missions and how everything tied together, and then like how they delivered some of the little messages and things, and just learning almost like the lore because I'm big on like lore and trying to find stuff out like with Destiny.
Being immersive.
Yeah, being immersive. Like Destiny with the ghosts and things. You would find like little tidbits of information. You try to piece it together, and also I really really love games that change depending on options and decisions that you make throughout it. And so for that, for me, also on top of being cyberpunk themed, also I will say going back through it and building like a melee class, super fun, super fun.
Yep.
It's a way more fun than playing it like GTA. I think too many people played it like GTA, just want to run and gun. But I haven't done the Mantis Blades as far as melee. I did the.
Oh, you did the katanas.
I just went katana build, and holy cow, that's so fun. But yeah, much to mixed reviews online. That is my numero uno for the year.
I also want to say that what makes a game the experience even better as well is for the first 2 weeks it came out. That's all we were talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
We would see each other. We would talk about it in our chat. We have a cyberpunk chat, by the way,
we
where we would post stuff that we discovered. For the most part, not stuff that we saw on YouTube. We would try to discover things on our own.
Yeah.
So it was really nice. It felt like we were back in those like middle school years where the internet.
Look what I found.
Yeah, look what I found. Hey,
Yeah.
this is how you get it. That's how we found the Yorinobu's katana.
Yep.
I didn't know about it until one of us found it. Took me like 8 tries to get it.
Yeah, that was the one that you could actually use the police to glitch back in to get into the building to go get. Which
Yeah,
is pretty cool.
this is pretty good legendary. It's really
it's
good.
really good actually.
But I do think that it's one of those things where the hype, it was overhyped, I think, but the experience with the immersion and then with friends, it definitely made it a lot better. So for my number one, actually, I think got close and nominated for Game of the Year this year. For me, it's actually Hades, which is
Nice.
another
Indie game.
Yep.
Yep.
It's just like Slay the Spire, very similar to Monster Train, where you a run. It basically is based on runs. It could take you 30 minutes to do a run if you're good enough, maybe more. Most of my runs take 30 minutes now. I either die before I get there or I make it in 30 minutes. So essentially, it's you play as the son of Hades, and you're trying to get out of Tartarus, which is hell. And as you die, more things unlock. You get more story. The more you play, the more you find out about everything, and it's actually really, really cool how they do it. Never played a game where I think I'm getting to the point where I'm very much enjoy the Dark Souls type games, not just because they're hard or the skill, but because I enjoy the aspect of getting better. And those games very, very.
They make you get better.
They make you get better,
you just
and
quit.
and you feel good when you beat them.
Yeah,
once
yeah.
you finally get to that point, you're like, oh, I feel good.
Yep.
So I love it. I have beaten the game, and what I mean by beating the game, I have gotten the credits to roll, but I'm pretty sure I still have a lot to do. But it's also one of those games where I just come back to it, do a run or two, play for 2-3 hours, and then go, cool, I can put it down, and that's what I like about it.
Yeah.
It's like my Stardew Valley. You guys,
Yeah.
how many times I've restarted Stardew Valley? So many. I have it in every console and on my phone.
It's funny to talk about Hades. It was after our top 5, we were gonna do our most underhyped and overhyped games of the year. Which actually my most underhyped is Hades because for me, I hadn't heard much anything about it until till Alex started talking about it, and I saw it was nominated for Game of the Year, and I'm like, oh, what did I miss on this? And for me, that's kind of the definition of underhype, is that until it just kind of broke out, you just didn't know about it.
It was in early access for years.
Oh,
I've
really?
heard about it when it first came out in early access from a buddy of
okay.
mine. But it didn't really. I didn't start playing it until legitimately it officially released.
Oh, okay.
So I was like, it released. It was on the page, and I was like, hey, I asked my buddy, hey, you played this game before? So, oh yeah, it's really good. So I downloaded it and I started playing. I'm like, holy crap, it's really good. So that's how I found out about it. But my underhyped game is actually Neo 2.
Neo 2.
Yeah, it's a really good game. Like I mentioned, if you have that itch for that Dark Souls type of game, I recommend it. It's a little harder than Dark Souls and a little easier than Dark Souls. I know that makes no sense, but
Once you play,
you'll get it. Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Once you beat the bosses, it's you understand that it's easier. It's all about combos and your gear.
Mm-hmm.
I love once you get to the end. The end game is all about how fast you can melt those bosses that kicked your ass.
Yeah.
It took you 5 hours to beat. And then you go to the end game, you go, cool, I melted that guy in 5 seconds.
Yeah.
It feels pretty good.
Moving on to overhyped. My overhyped game of the year was Marvel's Avengers.
Oh man, that
cow.
game is bad.
That gets so.
Did you buy it?
I did buy it. I bought it.
Man,
$60.
I feel bad for you.
$60. Yep.
That bad boy is like 20 right now.
Yep. So, don't get me wrong. That game is fantastic. If it wasn't a game, if it was
what?
if it was a movie, and you could just watch the cutscenes.
I mean, that's what I did.
It was pretty spicy.
I watched
watching YouTube playthrough.
I watched the play. No, not even a playthrough. I just watched the cutscenes.
So,
As soon as there was some playthrough, I would go like, okay, skip forward until I get some more cutscenes.
It's got a good story to it, as far as that goes. But for me, a lot of the gameplay felt very repetitive. You could be the different heroes and stuff, and it's cool. But like, after you play them like one time, it's like, okay, I get it. Like, Iron Man flies around, he has the missiles. Like everybody has their own little shtick, and that's cool. But man, it got boring really fast for me. I forced myself to play more hours because I'm like, I paid $60 for this game. I'm gonna play more of it, and I just couldn't. I couldn't finish it.
So with $60, are you a firm believer that $1 per hour?
Yeah, I believe that's. I mean, that's probably
You say that's like a good standard.
That's a good standard.
A good standard $1 per hour. So what I mean by $1 per hour, for those who don't understand, is if a game's $60, then you should enjoy 60 hours worth of it.
At least.
Yeah. Game is $20, and you play 20 hours, and that's what you should get. But yeah, I didn't play it myself because I saw a lot of the gameplay, and I said,
oh man,
that looks horrific. And I know you asked me, you kept asking us if we were gonna get it, and I thought about it. I really did, because I'm like, I need like a Destiny 2 type of game for myself.
Yeah.
But I feel like that's ship sailed, and then by the time I thought about getting it, it just I was like, nah, I'm good.
It's rough.
It's rough. My overhyped game is Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
It made it on my list. I think it's a really good game. It just needed more time to cook in the oven.
Yep, it did.
Yep. I think if they would have made it come out December 20, not even December, let's say fourth quarter 2021, that game would have been perfect. It would have been The Witcher 3.
Even still, I still have it at my first, and like I said in the review, still needs work. But I think part of let's touch on that a little bit. I think part of the problem with a lot of these game studios, and we're seeing it now with what's the new Halo coming out?
With the graphics, how bad it looks. Yeah.
I think that these studios and things are so pushed to rush things out and to put things out and to meet schedules, and you've got investors and all these people that got to get their money, and we get it, But I think that maybe that was still happening, back in the day when we were kids, and
we just didn't notice it.
Yeah,
man. If I go back to some of those games I enjoyed as a kid and I try to play them now, I go, how these games were awful.
Well, yeah.
Because you had more time.
But you had more. I think you just they're given more time. Like, I know we waited on Cyberpunk for close to a decade, right? From the initial.
When you put it that way.
But
you're right.
But they went through 2 console generations. They're trying to make it for.
Also, development. They scrapped development twice. I believe.
Yeah.
That's the story.
I think there's a lot, specifically that game that went into it, but. I think that us as consumers, we get a little too impatient sometimes.
Yeah.
And then it forces these companies to go ahead and just kind of put something out that isn't finished just to appease us.
Yeah. It's crazy how, it got postponed the first time, and because it was supposed to come out in February. It was supposed to come out like a week after Final Fantasy VII Remake.
I think something like that originally.
Because I remember I was like, man, February's going to be stuck. Yeah. And then it got pushed. And I was cool with it because now I can play Final Fantasy VII Remake and then other games that were coming out then. and then it got pushed to August because it was going to come out at the same time as Baldur's Gate 3.
Yep. That was same week, I think.
Yeah, and I
That
was
was-
like, oh my gosh, now I need to
What a
play
week.
that. Holy smokes. And then it got pushed again, and I was like, okay, that's cool, because now when it does come out, I won't have any other game I'm excited for then.
Mm-hmm.
But I think I would have been cool. I would have been fine if it got postponed another year. It's just a little frustrating when so many people were upset that it kept getting postponed,
But
then then the same people that got upset that it got postponed are the same people that crap on the game because you guys want. It's like when you're a kid and you're hungry
yeah,
and you tell mom I'm ready to eat and you pull out the food before it's even ready,
yeah,
and then your mom tells you nah, you need to wait. And then your mom just gets impatient with you, and she
Yeah.
goes, "Whatever, you eat it."
Just
And
eat it,
then,
yeah.
then you go, "This food's not good."
This
And
food's
you-
not good.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like that's what happened with
Yeah.
Cyberpunk.
I completely agree. And even to the point where some of those people, do you see where people were trying to get refunds and trying to keep the game too? Like, if you think the game is that bad, you want a refund, then why are you trying to keep it?
Because it wasn't that bad.
People
I mean,
are-
okay, I would say I think if I would have had it in consoles, I would have been.
probably would've been.
I would have been super upset.
Yeah, I know. I have friends that did play it on console. Still play it now on console, and you know they there's glitches. But they're like, you know, like if we've all played game. I mean,
I mean, this game's pretty glitchy, bro.
all
It's
right,
really bad.
It's pretty bad. All right.
Like, how about this? How about when I switch? How come every time I switch gear, my character always gets naked?
That is true.
So I can't play it around my like siblings
So,
because I'm like, okay, anytime I'm about to switch gear, I go, okay, you guys need to close your eyes or leave the room.
Yeah. So, I will say the funniest thing I ever had was I went to try to call in my motorcycle, and I was kind of like in the desert part a little bit, and I wasn't super close to a road, but it kind of just spawned it in midair, and I'm like, huh. So I was like, well, I'll see what happens if I get on it, and as soon as I climbed on it, police, what is it, like the police drone showed up, and I got like a 1 to 2 star wanted level for standing on the motorcycle, and then I'm like,
Whoop, whoop.
Whoop.
This is the police. Whoop,
So
whoop.
so I got off. So I wasn't even on the motorcycle. Like I was just standing on top of it, and then I jumped on the ground, and then it went away. And then
That's
I stood,
weird.
yeah, and then I stood back on and that was kind of interesting.
I don't know if you had this where you call your motorcycle and you're going so fast that you hit a car,
Mhm.
you go flying, and then you try to get back onto the bike and you can't, so you have to respawn it again. Like you have to walk.
I've had that a couple times.
Yeah. That's weird.
That's
Those are
weird.
just some weird things.
But-
So I guess our next thing would be games that we wish we had, or a game that wish we had played. So for mine, I wish I would have played the Spider-Man Miles Morales.
That's pretty good.
I
Yeah.
heard it's really good. The only reason why I didn't play it is because I honestly thought that it only came out for PS5.
Yeah, that was very confusing.
Yeah, but no, it came out for PS4 as well. So I might play it later on,
Mhm.
but I don't know if it was my bad or if they didn't advertise it correctly. But I just didn't play it because I thought it was only for PS5.
Yeah. I didn't even know either until recently on that note. And then for, you know, Undermine with the Underhype was
Yeah, I forgot
same
about
thing was Hades, was that I would have wanted to have gone back, and we'll still probably go back and play that at some point coming up. You know, just from all the things I've seen online about it and things, it's definitely something I want to try out and give it a whirl. So
What was your overhyped?
my overhype was the Avengers.
Avengers, that's right. That's right.
Man, that game was bad.
What about a game where you wish we played?
No, mine was Hades still.
Hades?
Underhyped and the game I wish I
Game
would
you
have played. was
Okay,
still
gotcha,
Hades,
gotcha. I
yeah.
got confused a little
You're
bit
good.
there.
You're
I
good.
got confused. My bad.
Yeah. So that kind
How
of.
about worst game you played this year? Is that Avengers?
I think worst game I've played is Avengers. Yeah,
Avengers.
it's pretty freaking bad. God.
I don't think I have a worst game I've played this year.
I 500% would have not spent the $60 if I could go back in time. I would have done anything else. I would have bought more Yu-Gi-Oh stuff to sell out again. That's what I would have done.
Dark Magician.
Dark
here.
Magicians.
All right. So I think we're gonna transition a little bit more from video games to some of our best or not best, but their favorite product for D&D.
Mhm.
So we do play every Sunday. We have a game that we're
Yep.
going through, Icewind Dale. So you might hear us talk about that for a little bit.
Yep.
Or not for a little bit, but like in the
Probably next few months
next
or
few
so.
months.
Yeah.
We'll talk about that. We have 7 of us. It's 7 of us plus a DM.
Seven with the plus the DM.
Plus
so
DM,
eight
so
total.
8 of us
Yeah.
in total. It's pretty fun. We We eat a lot. We drink a lot.
Mm-hmm.
We forget what's going on. At least I forget what's going on. I have to. They have to remind me every day. Not every day, but every session.
Our characters are completely different.
Yep. I mean, I feel like we're both playing characters that are very different to ourselves
Yeah,
as well.
yeah.
But this section is going to start out with our favorite product that came out this year for D&D. D&D's been a little bit weird, I feel like, this year with product, because it feels like it's been coming out a lot, but it's been harder to play in a sense.
Yeah, like a lot of stuff for not a lot of, obviously with the pandemic and things, it's not been as suitable of a year to run games and done things tabletop wise that we're used to.
Now, there are a lot of ways to play online.
Yes.
For almost 2 years, I was running an online campaign through using Discord or Roll20. So if you guys ever want to, get a game going, that is really nice to do. It's just kind of hard with, time. But my favorite product easily is Tasha's Cauldron.
Yeah,
Easily.
the same.
Easy,
That's
easy.
like, it's.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Icewind Dale has been cool.
Was that a pun? It's been cool.
I did that not on purpose. No, so here's the thing. I DM and I play, obviously.
Yep.
But I tend to DM more than I play. And I feel like as a DM, the more choices, the better.
Yeah.
And
absolutely.
then Tasha just like opened up a whole nother, gave us a lot of different cool classes, subclasses, a lot of other cool things that as DMs we can do.
How to I think my favorite part was, well, one of them besides the updated spells is the racial bonuses.
Yeah.
How to
how
calculate
to
that.
fix that. Yeah.
So
if you
that's
want to
pretty
play,
cool.
a goblin that's actually fairly strong, you can.
Yep.
You're not, or you can take away not the goblins, but the kobolds' light sensitivity, because it's, let's be honest, it's really dumb.
Yeah.
Or like ogres, full ogres were worse than half ogres or half orcs, excuse me. So I think Tasha was really cool. I really enjoyed it. Like I said, more options, more beta.
Yeah.
I also enjoyed. I just enjoyed the subclasses.
Yeah.
Like
I think my biggest thing with Tasha's was going on the race thing. So I've wanted to play a Warforged for forever, and yeah,
worst race.
He
I'm
hates,
just kidding.
He hates Warforged.
It's not that I hate it. It's just that
weird.
I think it's for a fantasy setting. It kind of, for me, just talking about me, I feel like it breaks it a little bit.
That's fair.
And I have to go through hoops to make it work. But
Yeah. Just going on that, my guy in Icewind Dale's a Warforged cleric. So that's, wrap your head around that one. But it's his backstory's cool. We might get into it in a later episode.
Once our characters find out about her own backstory. Mine's actually fairly simple, I feel like. But because I wear it on my sleeve.
Yeah. But the biggest thing was when I first started playing D&D, I wanted to play. Warforged were the class was in UA at the time, or race, and so they had 3 different ones. You could be like skirmisher, which had points toward, or you could basically make it like a Warforged rogue. Then there was
the brute,
the brute one or something like that. You could be like, which was lent more to like a barbarian type, and they had racial bonuses that went with each of those.
And they had special abilities depending on which one you went with as well.
And then once it became official, it had this Constitution, and
they took away all the
they took away all the cool stuff. Yeah. So then now you can be that, because you can be like, okay, well, instead of con, I want to take Dex, and now I can make now I can take my skirmisher, which was pretty cool. So
yeah. No, Tasha's cool. The only thing I don't like about Tasha is it's called Tasha's Cauldron of everything. Why couldn't it be called Tasha's Cauldron of like evilness or something else? The only reason why I say that is because Xanathar has Xanathar's guide to everything. So now the next one's going to be called Misha's book of everything. Yeah, it's going to have everything. So that's the only thing. The name convention I feel like could have been a little better, but it's great book.
Yeah.
If you don't have it, recommend you to. Okay, get the first 3 first.
Yeah,
which
get the
player's handbook,
stuff, yeah.
the DM's guide, and the monster. Then Tasha's a good one,
yep.
and then Xanathar. Those I think are 5 that you should always have.
Yeah.
I guess our next one would be our favorite meanie that came out this year.
Yeah.
So how about you start us off?
What's
your favorite meanie?
Mine isn't actually. So it's related to minis, but it's not actually a mini. And it is the Warlock Dungeon tiles.
Oh, dude, those are cool.
Those are super cool. As a DM myself, they were super cool to put together. You can kind of just for me, making an immersive game is great. You know, some people do digital. We do. I think we do kind of a mix of digital with physical and that kind of thing. And just having the structures and stuff just like ready to clip together, and you can kind of build whatever setting, room, building you want is really really cool.
Yeah, man. And our group, we spend a lot of money on.
We
on,
spend a lot of money
on those tiles. So I think those are really cool. Yeah. I didn't even think about putting those on my list, so I'll give you that. I did. It's kind of selfish.
Uh-oh.
So for my favorite mini is my mini that I made for my character Ignacio.
That's his character for Icewind Dale.
Here goes, man. He has luscious hair.
Very luscious hair.
It goes everywhere. He's I love it. It took me I'm colorblind, so it's really hard to do the colors. But it took me probably like 2 hours to get it done.
Mm-hmm.
Mainly because I had to figure out how to do the colors.
And where did you make that mini?
Oh yeah, I made that mini in Hero Forge.
Hero Forge, okay.
Yeah. You guys can look up Hero Forge. You can spend a lot of time. So very customizable.
Yep.
You can put them. You can spend hours between the coloring and then doing the actual poses. It's really cool. I love it. Ignacio. I still need to get it printed. You guys can either pay them to print it for you or get the STL file and do it yourself if you have a printer at home.
Yep.
Our DM has a printer, so I need to send him the file. But yeah, selfish, but I'll take it.
But yeah, we definitely love D&D. Sometimes it's almost more fun than playing a video game because you know you're right in the element. You can it's really whatever you want to do, especially with the people that we have as DMs.
Great
for
DMs.
The games we play. They let you do whatever you want to do, but you will also pay for whatever you want to do.
Yeah,
if you make terrible decisions.
A lot of people have died. A lot of not TPKs. I don't think I've been a
we haven't TPK'd,
but we definitely have had some bad choices.
Don't fight crocodiles.
Underwater. Don't fight
crocodiles underwater. Granted, it drugged me underwater, but
it was your choice.
It was my choice.
I gave you guys levels of difficulty, and you guys chose 10.
We wanted the ship. We really, really wanted the ship.
And you got the ship.
And we did get the ship at the cost of my life. But I came back. So anyway.
Bringing Lexi back.
Yeah. Oh, man, that's my Solgar Thrushwood. That is my favorite. I love that character so much. It's just a shame that he's, part warlock now.
All right.
Oh god.
So, we're transitioning now from D&D to card games, which is what our namesake's for. We play a lot of
card games.
Cardboard. Just to give you a little bit of backstory, I have been playing cardboard since, I think. Okay, elementary school definitely.
Yeah, same.
I remember my very first card ever was a Yu-Gi-Oh card.
Mm-hmm.
It's a card called Urabi. It's a dinosaur.
It's a dinosaur.
1500 attack.
Not bad.
I don't remember the defense.
Doesn't matter. You just attack.
Yeah, you just attack. It's I know there's a 4-star. No effect, vanilla. It's the first card I ever got. I was in Honduras, so it was a Spanish one, and I brought it, and then I don't know where it's at anymore. But I've been playing Yu-Gi-Oh since then. I've quit several times, but still strong. And then between the years that you quit, you don't get away from card games. Once you're in it, you're in it. It's crack.
It really is.
It's cardboard crack. That's what I like to call it.
For me, it was playing. It was actually Pokemon. The mid '90s. Yep.
And you were around for the hype?
Yeah. I was. What was it, 6, 7? I used to get to go to Books a Million. They would have the. They actually had the. Like the gym challenges here.
That's cool.
So you could actually get the metal gym badges, which was really sweet.
Do you still have this?
Nah, I wish.
Man, I bet that would be money now.
Probably. Everything from the 90s in Pokemon is worth money now, unfortunately.
I mean, heck, Yu-Gi-Oh too. I mean, Yu-Gi-Oh was early 2000s.
Yeah. But so I've been playing Pokemon pretty much off and on ever since then. And then pretty much almost every card game I could get a hold of between then and now.
Yeah, and there's a lot. I think I've played almost
Easily.
all the big ones.
Yeah.
All the big ones, and I probably played all the collectible CCGs online as well.
Probably easy 10, 20 card games or more.
Let's not get into how much money I spent on card games either. Ooh.
This stuff's expensive.
Yeah. But what we're going to talk about is our favorite cards that came out this year.
Yep.
For the different card games that we play, that we mutually play.
Yep.
We didn't want to talk about some like card games that that he played and I didn't play.
Had a new card game out this year.
Out. Yeah.
Yep.
Or 2020. Yeah. And then our favorite product / overhyped product of this year. So I think we're going to start with Magic, since that one's the biggest one, right?
Yeah. So Magic is, it's been around the longest as far as your general TC is, longest tenured. So we were going to do favorite new cards. My favorite new card for Magic this year, we've had a lot of stuff come out, a lot of reprints too, but a lot of new stuff. It's actually Keeper of the Accord.
White finally gets a good card.
Yep. So it does everything that you could have asked for in mono white. It ramps, it generates creatures. You just hope
it's a nice body too.
Yeah, it's was he? I think he's a 3/4. Right?
He's a 3/4. Yeah, 3/4 for 4 mana is pretty good.
You just hope that your opponent doesn't have a Defense of the Heart out to so you don't. That happened to me one time. They played Defense of the Heart. He made some tokens, and then I got Crater Hoofed, and that was unfortunate. But
but I think that's the downside of playing white.
But yeah. So, does everything that we've been asking for white as a color to get. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So it's good to see that they're doing something for white.
Yep.
I mainly play Commander, or used to play / play mainly Commander. I used to play Standard, but it hasn't been as fun. But my favorite card this year is definitely Sakashima the Imposter.
Oh yeah, Sakashima's really cool.
He does have a partner, but I decided that not to actually partner him up with anything, but him just being able to come in, copy anything on your side of the board. So it has to be your side. But if you run a lot of clones, and then you clone your opponent's stuff, and then you clone the clone of your clone, and you just have 5.
Not to mention, there's no legendary rule while he's out.
So having 5, I don't know, what's something that I copied from you before that I copied? I don't even know the name of the angel. It's a 5 mana angel that comes in, and then you can improvise.
Oh yeah. So I was playing Alicia, who smiles at death, and it was
I hate that deck.
It was so fun.
It's really quick. So in 1v1s,
it wins really fast. Potentially.
Really fast, yeah.
So it was the angel comes in, improvise. You can make some servos, or you put counters on it, and then it has lifelink and it gives everything else +1/+1. And yeah, it has vigilance. It's got the keyword soup, and then he made a copy of it, and then kept making copies of it. He's at 4 life, and then he wasn't at 4 life.
Because I had like 5 of those guys.
So dumb.
It was a good time. I was going to lose, but yeah.
He was 500%. Those games when you get right there. But that's why you never quit. Like people, you don't lose until you're at 0.
Yeah, and that's definitely one of those things we want to cover in a later podcast. Is things to make you potentially a better card game player. Yep. And hint, don't give up until the very end. Once you hit 0, that's when you lose.
Also, don't slow play if you don't have any options.
Don't slow play.
Yeah, don't slow play. Don't shuffle your hand if you don't have a response. Just pass.
Pass.
So, all right, we'll get to that though.
We're moving on to Yu-Gi Mines.
Yu-Gi-Oh! Yes. My favorite card of the year, and it caused me to spend almost $1,000, was Red Eyes Dark Dragoon.
Oh yeah, I forgot that guy came out this year.
So that card is single-handedly one of the most busted cards that Yu-Gi-Oh! Has printed this year, and has caused decks to literally put in bricks that don't do anything if they draw them, and just to be able to play that guy.
And bricks are cards that do absolutely nothing in your hand, that are legitimately just
a waste of space.
Waste of space.
So I played Dark Magician. Dark Magician is my favorite deck. It's what I played when I was little. When I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! Dark Magician is my favorite Yu-Gi-Oh! Monster of all time. And so I'm always trying to make that deck good. And, it's expensive now because Eternal Souls, or not Eternal Soul, Magician Souls are so expensive, and every other deck uses it better. But I was like, hey, we got this. We got Dragoon. More Dark Magicians aren't a brick in our hand. Red Eyes isn't necessarily a brick because we can just play Polymerization and hard cast it, which is really funny.
Man, that can poop out a lot of Dragoons. My favorite one was when we could do 3 Dragoons. This man only played 2.
Three Dragoons you could make in one turn, and I literally only had 2 in my extra deck. But,
I mean, there's no reason to make 3 when you had no cards in your hand.
Yeah,
But
because
still,
it's a negate. It gets bigger. Like you can't interact with it. Like there's so much dumb stuff with that card.
It's a really good card.
But yeah,
I'm surprised we haven't banned it now, but.
Didn't they limit it in the OCG?
In the OCG it's limited, but
so
not here. I guess for my take, I think Yu-Gi-Oh is in a really cool space in the sense of archetype. So I kind of cheated a little bit because the Eldritch archetype is really cool because they make traps viable again.
Yep.
And then Drytron being able to make rituals viable again. But I definitely think my favorite card has to be it's tie. It's kind of between triple tactical talents.
That card's so good.
Just being able to change a heart, pot of greed, or it's not confiscation, but forceful sentry.
Yeah.
Being able to do those 3 cards, it's really good. But there's also for good players, you can actually play around it because you can only do it in the main. It's not a quick play. So there's a lot of cool things about it that I like. A lot of playability, a lot of mentality that it gives you.
It's not as busted as it could be.
Yeah. The price tag's not warranted, but that's a whole different thing.
Yeah.
But then there's that one, and I really like Ice Dragon Prison.
Ice Dragon's Prison, yeah.
Ice Dragon's Prison.
Which ironically is the out to Dragoon.
Just Dragoon, yeah. I don't like it not because of that. I just I enjoy trap decks a lot because it reminds me back in the old days. Playing in the old days.
All the cool stuff.
Yeah, it's trying to show my age. But it just reminds me of that. So when a good trap comes out and multiple decks are playing it, I enjoy that. So the card is good, don't get me wrong, but I mostly enjoy it for what it brings back into the card game.
Yep. So for the next card, this is also going to touch on our favorite new card game that came out, Digimon.
Digital Monsters.
Digimon. So
Champions.
they did it technically doesn't release till this month.
Or next month.
Next month now. It got delayed again. They did have a pre-sale, so that's the only one they included it. We were playing it before they actually printed the cards. Alex had proxied, made fake ones just so we could get a feel for the game.
I also recommend if you do want to play and you can't find product, make proxies.
Yeah, it's fine for now. Like don't let the lack of product or the TCG player prices discourage you from playing this game. It is a lot of fun.
Very quick games.
Very quick. Not a huge card pool yet. The game just came out. They're catching us up to Japan, which after we get 1.5 in February and then 4.0, which would be their 4.0, our set 4 in March. It's really great. April. Okay. Yeah. I forgot it got pushed back a little bit further. But that being said, Digimon Kintarismon is my favorite card. I really enjoy Yellow. I can't wait for Shine Greymon. And that card is probably the favorite card in my deck. It does so much. When you Digi-Evolve into it, you basically shut off 5 of your opponent's Digimon. They can't attack your life. When he dies, he also gets to basically delete something your opponent controls, and he's just all around cool.
Yeah.
So.
I love Kintarismon. I hate that they changed his name.
Yeah.
I don't know whether his Japanese name is Kintarismon or the English name was Kintarismon, but I know him as Sleepmon, as in in Norse mythology, the horse that Odin rides is called Sleip.
Oh,
Sleipnir.
Okay. Yeah.
So that's what they based it on.
Based it off of. Okay.
They changed his name, which is cool. Now for me, I go back to the OG. I'm talking about the best card in the game, the best boy, Omnimon. That guy is so good. I love so Omnimon. Not only do I like Omnimon because he's the best card in the game, but he's legitimately my favorite Digimon. Where I remember in the anime when they first fused the 2 best Digimon, War Greymon and Metal Garurumon, they fused to make him. I was like, what? My mind was blown. I said, this is so much cooler than Pokemon.
It's not.
It is. Though.
I mean, it's on the same level.
It's different. It's
Yeah, it's
different.
different,
It's different. But no, I love Omnimon. The fact that he's good.
Yeah.
It's
He's really, really good.
Yeah, yeah. And
He's not. Okay, hear me out. He's not $70 good.
No, definitely not. 50 maybe.
50 maybe.
But 70 definitely
But
not. And then Alt Art 150 definitely
That's
not.
out of here. Yeah.
But I like the fact that the cool thing about Omnimon as a whole is that it has 20 to like 80 different different forms, and they're all getting printed slowly. So we're getting another Omnimon. In the next
Alter
set.
S.
We're getting Alter S, and they just revealed Zort D. So
Yep.
I love all of them. So I'm excited. I like Omnimon a lot.
Yep.
Cop out, but whatever.
So, so for the next thing, we want to touch on our most overhyped products of the year. The cards or the sets or the products, as far as the cardboard is related, that we felt like weren't as good, or they just pushed too hard. And going first for that with Magic again, Commander Legends.
That's mine as well.
So hear me out, because I know a lot of Commander players. I remember when Melissa DeTora and her crew did their tour last year, and they stopped by our store, our local LGS. Shout out to Gamers Alley. Shout out, woot woot. They stopped by, and every person there almost was like, "What are you doing for Commander? What are you doing for Commander?" I personally enjoy Standard a lot. I know it can be expensive. I enjoy constructive formats.
Commander's constructed.
I mean, it's kind of constructive. I mean, there's, yeah, I get it. Anyway, yeah, it is constructed. You're right. All right. So they're like Commander. And so then literally Wizards goes, you know what? Every card is going to be a Commander card. Yeah. And then I said, what do you mean? And then we have Standard, where it has been all year. They print very powerful things that have no place in Standard or don't get checked by other powerful things, and that is what it is. But then going back to Commander Legends, specifically, actually one card I wanted to note, Jeweled Lotus. Holy cow. So that was the crown jewel, no pun intended, of the set.
That pun was intended.
It was 100%.
He looked up.
It was 100% intended. So that was the card. Was it $500, $600, $1,000 for the alt art foils?
That's
ridiculous. when it was pre-selling.
The card is not as good as you think.
Yeah. For those that don't know what it does, it costs 0 to play. As an artifact that lets you sacrifice it to add 3 mana of any one color to your mana pool to play your commanders only. That isn't. I mean, that sounds good, right?
And it is good.
It is good, but
not $600.
It's not Black Lotus by any means. They're gonna keep making these cards that are
they're retrains. Just like what Yu-Gi-Oh does. They retrain them.
But holy cow, that card's too expensive. The set was overhyped. Had some cool stuff in it, but man, I think they pushed it really, really hard.
Yeah. See, the reason why it's a mile overhyped is because they printed stuff like the Jewel Lotus, and then they printed out Hull Breacher.
Oh, God.
And then they printed out Opposition Agent.
Those cards are dumb.
Here it goes. Okay, Hull Breacher. I'm fine with Hull Breacher, but Opposition Agent, man, you know how many times I play. Man, a $30 card breaks all of my fetches.
This man's mad about his fetches. Tell him quit spending so much money on fetches.
They're the best card in Magic are fetches, and this one card says you can't fetch.
Mm-hmm.
So
you know what my favorite play was? So someone was going to tutor, and then I flashed in Aven Mind Sensor, and then someone shot it. So then I flashed in Opposition Agent, and I was like, okay, you want to do this? We could do this. and then everybody got mad. But
so gross. But then between those two, and then I enjoy white a lot as a color.
Yep.
And obviously the Keeper of the Court is nice.
Yep.
But I was expecting why I was in Hull Breacher or Opposition Agent in white.
Or why didn't we get a card that had a similar effect?
Yeah. We got that stupid Greatsword, which was awful. As a mythic. It's just and then moving away from white, it just I think it was cool. I just don't think it was as cool as it could have been, even though Sakashima did come out of that set.
Mm-hmm.
I do think the etch foilings are really, really cool.
They are really pretty.
They're really cool and really pretty. I just do think that the set as a whole could have been better,
Yeah.
or maybe not better. I think it was overhyped.
Yeah, it was definitely overhyped. So, moving on, Yu-Gi-Oh. So I'm gonna throw a whole set under here because I so I did pull the chase card out of the set.
Ooh, I wonder which one you're talking about because this man pulled all the chase
I
cards.
have pulled like every chase card out of every. I've literally bought like virtually 0 boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh. I buy one, I pull a cool card, and then that's it. But this one is the Rage of Ra set.
Yep. Okay.
Holy cow, that set was awful unless you pulled the Ghost Rare. And for me, as a player, a collector, or anybody really, not worth it. It's just not worth it because like it's kind of one of those things. Okay, I bought a box, right? I'm gonna get some cool things to maybe build a deck around, and it had some neat things in it, right? Some like okay stuff, but you really just wasted money and time if you didn't pull Ghost Rare Raw.
Yeah,
it was awful.
And of course, he pulled Ghost
Rare Raw. Yeah, on top of all the other stupid cards that I pulled. I did pull a 10,000 Dragon out of one box. That was pretty spicy. A couple of prismatics throughout the year.
This man legitimately plays Yu-Gi-Oh once a year.
Yep.
Buys the Dark Magician deck.
Yep.
Realizes it's bad.
Yep.
Sells it out and buys one box. Pulls the prismatics. While your boy plays every freaking time, every month, doesn't get out of it, spends a lot of money.
Has like 5 decks.
Has never pulled a prismatic in his life.
Yep.
I'm talking about myself.
Yep.
I mean, I would probably just sell it. Don't get me wrong, but I've never.
Which I did. That 10,000 Dragon is only collectible. Card's bad, but
what? Oh, 10,000.
10,000 Dragon.
I thought you were saying Wing Dragon.
No. Yeah,
Wing Dragon
is still bad, but it's not as bad as 10,000 Dragon. Yeah. But you know what? That money I got for it wasn't bad at all.
Yeah, so. But 10,000 for 1,000 for 10,000 is pretty good.
It's pretty good.
For my overhyped product, I would say it was Secret Slayers.
Secret Slayers, okay.
That's the set where Eldritch came out, and so did Emancipator, which was the best deck at the time. And then Eldritch was still pretty good. And it's my overhyped product because there was no product to buy. They didn't print enough. People, I mean, rightly so.
Yeah.
Both Emancipator was a tier 1 deck, and Eldritch is still a tier 1 deck.
Yep.
And even though Golden Lord got reprinted, now people have bought out the Golden Land. So it's a little frustrating if you want to play those cards, if you didn't buy them when they were low. But it's frustrating in the sense that there just wasn't a lot of product to us to buy. Therefore, I wasn't able to make those decks.
Yeah.
So that's the only reason why it's overhyped.
I can, that's the biggest frustration. I think with card games right now, some of the product being limited. That said, Digimon, some of the other stuff throughout the year, they just, for whatever reasons, couldn't make enough of because of, COVID or other reasons.
As much as I love the Digimon card game, the pricings are overhyped.
Yeah.
Like I said, if you want to play it, definitely do. Definitely, what's it called?
Proxy them. It's a very good game.
Very fun.
It's worth it. It is not worth though the price tag that. What we've seen is that most of the people that are buying or selling the card games or cards specifically for Digimon aren't players. They're not people that either want to play the game or collectors. They are people that are merely there to try to make money off of a limited product, and that is unfortunate.
Yeah, off a limited product and off a product that people want now. Because the game, like I said, it's a lot of fun. So a lot of people that have played it have enjoyed it.
Yep.
And I think the game only gets more healthy as it moves along.
It gets more stuff. Yeah.
Set 1, if you've been playing a lot, has been a little bit stale now.
Yeah.
But
even still,
the pricing
is crazy. It's ridiculous.
But no, it's a really fun game, and I think that would be like, if you're interested in it, or Digimon's not your thing, I would still try it out.
Definitely. And there's ways online to play too if you don't like your proxy. I know like Untap and Tabletop Simulator, and I think a few of those have.
There's now an actual Digimon simulator.
Oh really?
You can
Someone
download.
Created one. Yeah. So shout out to the those in the community that are putting those products out, trying to work on those to where we can access that digitally, especially with everything going on.
Yeah. And
But-
then I know a lot of people that are, you know, I was fortunate enough to buy a pretty good amount of boxes, so I have a lot of extra stuff that I am willing to give for people to actually play.
Yep.
So that's if you're in the area and you know
Yep.
you need some. If you're playing, sure.
If you're
gonna
playing, if you're gonna flip this
resell,
stuff,
then we ain't friends.
we ain't friends.
We ain't friends.
We might still be friends, but I'm gonna look at you sideways.
Exactly.
But
Might talk back behind your back.
yeah, nah.
Nah, I probably won't do that. I'll talk bad about in your front of your face.
Yeah.
I'm just the type of person I am.
But yeah, I mean that's so that's kind of the wrap up for 2020. This first podcast,
Whoop, whoop.
whoop, first kind of thing. This it's kind of going to be what this channel's about. It's gonna be card games, D&D, video games, just kind of just chit chatting
geek
about
culture as a
whatever
whole.
geek
Yeah.
culture,
Yeah.
whatever kind of stuff we want to talk about. I keep mentioning before, we'll probably do a video or a podcast on kind of how to get better, things to get better at card games. And if you guys have suggestions for us, like things you want us to talk about, we're gonna have hopefully soon, as when this goes up, all of our social medias should be up. It'll be Cardboard Champs pretty much everywhere: Instagram, YouTube, Facebook, all that good stuff.
Yeah, but looking out for a logo.
Yeah, we're working on it. It is in the process right now. We got our finest people at work on it.
And when I mean our finest people, we mean
it's literally one person.
one person. Shout out.
Shout out to a buddy of mine's sister. She's working on it.
We won't say her name until she's cool with it.
Well, yeah. We want to make sure we get permission, but we'll definitely give her credit and all those things. Yeah, I was like, hey, I need some graphic design. Does anybody know anybody? And then like nobody said anything, and then I reshared it literally the day of recording today, and I was like, but for money.
I
And
got
so-
money. Take my money.
And then some people are like, "Hey, what's up with that, though?" But I'm fine with that. Like, I feel like that is,
It's a business.
as the artist, or if you're good at something I can't do, then I'm absolutely willing to, to give money for it. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of people that do a lot of cool stuff. We just,
Yep.
we can talk.
We can talk. We're kind of funny.
We're sometimes funny, so we make ourselves laugh at least.
Yeah, and sometimes other people.
And sometimes other people.
But let us know what other things you guys want us to discuss. We have some, like I mentioned, some things that we want to discuss ourselves. We might do some maybe video game reviews later on. Obviously, talk more about
more in depth on them. Yeah.
Talk more in depth about card games as a whole.
Mm-hmm.
Like I said, what we want to mainly discuss is a lot of geek culture stuff. So there's some things like Adam's not very versed in nerdcore rap. So,
I am not. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, so I think that'd be something cool for him to and fun, because nordcore rap could either be really, 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 really bad and okay.
So so I literally just there was what was that song? It was like a remix of like Giorno's theme from JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, one of my favorite animes. And so that kind of I saw that, and then Alex was like, it's like a whole scene of this kind of music,
genre,
and I'm like, what?
Yeah. So I was having to do like reactions. I don't tend to listen to a lot of it. The ones that I do is mainly some of the Pokemon ones.
Oh yeah,
like
those are pretty fun.
like a Shofu. He's really good at it. So him and his crew. So shout out to them. They probably don't know who we are, but shout out to them.
But maybe they will
one day. Yeah,
one day. We'll
so
see.
have him react to some of that, listen to it, and maybe do some reviews on that. That'd be cool. But we want, like I said, you just want to chill, relax,
chill place for people to hang out. Maybe we'll do some Twitch streaming and stuff too in the future. We talked about maybe doing some of that, just
if people want it.
derping around. Yeah.
But yeah, just let us know how we do and what else you guys would like to see, if anything you want to change.
Yep. All right, guys. Appreciate it. Cardboard Champs out.